Susie Wall, lucky enough to catch up with Gordon, to have a private tour of his first Gordon Ramsay Steak in Canada. It opened this past weekend in BC. Susie, tell us more about it, and how many times, did you have a swear jar with you with Gordon? How many times did he swear?
He is such a doll, you guys. Good morning, by the way. I was a little nervous. Is he going to lose his marbles on somebody? Something dropped in the kitchen while we were chatting, and I went, oh, and he turned around, he's smiling, nothing fazed him. Really just the sweetest guy, and so excited to be on the West Coast. Let's take a look. Okay, Gordon, you have brought a world-class restaurant to Vancouver. I never thought I'd get to ask this, but Gordon Ramsay, can we go on a private tour of your new space?
I would love to take a private tour. I'm so happy. And I'll be honest, this journey in Vancouver started for me 20 years ago when I fell in love with Whistler. Right. I came over skiing. We were filming a segment of Hell's Kitchen here as well. Yeah. And it was so inspirational, having the most amazing time. Not just because of the freshness of the produce, but just the location. So to be here now with a 120-seater in the middle of Vancouver is a dream come true. And we are literally days old.
You're a brand new baby here in Vancouver, and we loved that you picked Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm getting an elegant, sophisticated vibe, but also very warm and welcoming, right?
Yeah, there's something quite intimidating about masculine steakhouses, and this is more of a feminine side. I always look at my wife or my daughters eating steak. How do they not feel intimidated? How do they get excited? And we don't want anything over rich, but the produce is second to none. It speaks for itself. And 85% of our produce, Susie, is sourced locally. So from a chef's point of view, that's a dream right there. Right. And I'm talking within 100 miles. So even the wine is sourced locally.
Speaking of being in here, looking at the menu, everybody's running around. We're getting ready. Tonight's a big opening. Yes. The menu. I'm excited to try your famous beef Wellington. But if Gordon Ramsay's dining at Gordon Ramsay Steak, what are your go-to menu items?
That's a good question. So I always dine late after service, and I'd sit down with the chefs and sort of understand how their day. Yeah. How's that gone? What are they up to? What's going through their mind? I'll be honest, a rib cap. It's one of the most sought after sort of chefy cuts. Bavette, rib cap. I've eaten so many ends of those Wellingtons, honestly. We save them and then sort of nibble on them after service. A lovely lobster mac and cheese, finished with summer truffles. And then as a sort of light appetizer, I'd go for the local crab cakes with remoulade sauce. And then dessert, it has to be that sticky toffee pudding.
Well, speaking of Canadian cuisine, sourcing locally, we know you're a fan of Canuck cooking, so
huge.
I want to put your knowledge to the test, Gordon, and give you something that I call the TMS Canuck Cuisine Challenge.
I love that.
Are you up for it?
I love that.
Okay.
Here we go.
These crispy fries topped with cheese curds and smothered in rich gravy
Poutine.
are a true...
Poutine.
Also called a dive bar salad locally.
Is that what it's called? Is that right? No.
Okay, next. This sweet, gooey pastry is a Canadian favorite, filled with a buttery, sugary filling, sometimes with raisins.
The tarts. What's it called? The tarts. The tarts. Oh, my goodness me. Come on. It's something tart.
Butter?
Help me. Butter tart.
Next one is close to my heart. Right. Named after a city in British Columbia, the no-bake dessert that features layers of chocolate, custard-flavored icing, and a coconut graham cracker base.
God. It's the most luxurious Mars bar on the planet.
Fair.
But it's a hard name.
Diana Krall is from this city, another great Canadian. Nanaimo?
No, Nanaimo. I always think of Finding Nemo. Nanaimo. It's got that sort of, that insight. But again, super rich.
Yes, very rich.
And we have to bed in culturally here. It's an amazing piece of land. Yeah. And the indigenous sort of protection needs to be respected. And so I'm all about produce and making this feel like it's a local restaurant as opposed to, some chef coming to put his name above the door. And so we've worked hard on the menu. You'll see when you come for dinner, it blends in beautifully.
We're so happy that you're here, Gordon Ramsay.
Likewise.
Thanks for having us.
What's the name of that chocolate bar again? It's called?
Nanaimo Bars. I'm an island girl, Vancouver Island. Come visit. We're glad to have you.
Likewise.
Thanks for chatting.
I don't know. I think that's a new TV record. 3 minutes of Gordon Ramsay, not one beep.
Yeah. From either of us. And of course, that was Canadian great Christine Sinclair, who came for the ribbon opening later that night. What a guy. And you guys, it was so wonderful to hear, like he said, how embedded they were on the West Coast and, in such support of Canadian growers and farmers and producers. So wonderful to have Gordon Ramsay Steak here in town.